because you're playing a solitaire game, it doesn't mean you have to play it alone. This is my top 10 list of solo games you can play with a partner. Now, if you've been playing solo games for any length of time, then you know that there are some solitaire games that are strictly one-person games. I'll give you two examples. Finished by Friedman Freeze, right? That's strictly a one-person game. And Palm Island. Great little solo game, but strictly a one-person game. Again, if you've played solitaire games for any length of time, then at some point you probably tackled the solitaire game sitting right next to a partner, right? Like the two of you kind of played the game together, a solo game. So that's what this list is about. Every game mentioned on this list, obviously I've played it, solitaire mostly, but every now and then I'm sitting with a partner, a friend, and we're going through the game together. And these games, in my opinion, work really well. Solo games that you can play with a partner. So this is my top 10 list. Top 10 list of solo games you can play with a partner. And let's begin with number 10. By the way, I will be putting a link, right? Links to these games. The games that I've spoken about on the channel here below. Because I'm going to go through these games very quickly. I'm not going to go through rules and all that stuff. I'm just going to show you my top 10 list. But below in the description, I'll have links to more detailed links to these games. Okay, so let's begin with number 10 on my top 10 list of solo games you can play with a partner. Number 10 is 11 Z's for 1. This is a puzzle card game, right? It's got a small footprint on the table. It's a great little solitaire game, and you can play this solitaire game with a partner. You are the maid to Lady Agatha Smythe. She's putting a tea party together, and you have to do it in 15 minutes. Puzzle game, right? You're going to have 10 cards, right? That you have to organize. These 10 cards are the tea party accoutrement, and you have to organize them, placing them in ascending order on the trolley, on the tea trolley. Right, so this is a neat puzzle game. It's still available by Eagle through Eagle Griffin Games, and you can sit with a partner and tackle this little puzzle together. It's a joy. 11 Z's for 1, number 10 on my top 10 list of solo games you can play with a partner. Now at number 9 we have Metro X. Metro X, a wonderful competitive game. A wonderful solitaire game, but you can play this solitaire game with a partner. Metro X, if you don't know anything about it, it comes with these dry erase boards, right? You don't even need a table to play this, right? I usually play Metro X sitting on the couch. Sure, you have some cards here, but you can put them, rest them on your leg or on the arm of the chair or the couch there. And this dry erase board you just hold in your hand. So you can certainly play this with a partner because as these cards come up, you have decisions to make, and you can make those decisions with your partner. Gee, where should we go? You got to fill all these metro lines out because any little bubbles there that you leave unchecked is going to cost you points. And basically, this is your timer, right? Once all these squares here are filled up, it's the end of the game, and then you do your score. But this is the kind of game you could be casually sitting on the couch there. You pull out a card, and you decide what you're going to do. You decide together what you're going to do. A solitaire game you can play with a partner. This one, Metro X, number 8. Okay? Number 9. Number 9 on my list of top 10 solo games you can play with a partner. Number 8, I was getting ahead of myself. Number 8 on my list is Herbaceous. This is a gorgeous game, right? It's a gorgeous game. I mean, look at this. Herbs. You're trying to pot herbs, right? So it's a pleasure to play competitively, right? Because it's a nice flow. It can be a little bit mean, but it's just so beautiful. It's just a relaxing experience to play Herbaceous. I really enjoy it. And as a solo game, I really enjoy it. And you have decisions to make, okay, in the solo game. because you're going to be, in the solo game, you're going to be taking out cards, and you got to decide what to do with these cards and what areas to put these cards. One of the cards you draw on every turn of a solo game, you have to discard. So you have decisions to make. You have these areas here where you're going to be potting these herbs, right? Some of these cards, you have to do pairs of herbs. Another card, you'll have to do one of each kind. So the more you have of each kind, the more points you're going to get. The more pairs you have, the more points you're going to get. Herbaceous is a joy. It's a joy. It's a gorgeous joy of a game to play. I love the solitaire version of this game. And again, it is a solitaire game that you can play with a partner, both of you together, side by side, working out this little adventure, this little herb potting adventure. Love it, Herbaceous. Number 8 on my top 10 list of solo games you can play with a partner. Now, at number 7, Raycolt. Raycolt is I've talked about it on the channel. A reminder here, links will be below if you want to hear more about these games. Raycolt is sort of a worker placement game, right? Let me show you the back of the box here, this way. Right, it's a worker placement game. You have to satisfy these tables of customers here. Table might want one lettuce, and then the next table wants a tomato and a carrot. And then as the game goes on, they're going to be requesting 2 of those vegetables or 3. It's wonderful. Raycolt is a very, very competitive multiplayer game, but you can play it solo. You can play Raycolt solo, and for sure, certainly, you can play Raycolt solo with a partner, because you have decisions to make here, right? It becomes almost like I was going to say a math game, but you just have to balance the vegetables, which vegetables you're going to harvest. It reminds me, this is sort of like a really light version of At the Gates of Loyang. Right, it's a different solo adventure, right? If you happen to know the solitaire game for At the Gates of Loyang, this is very different. But worker placement, you're going to be collecting these vegetables, planting them, harvesting them, and balancing this out, because you will have to deliver these to move forward, right? You'll have to deliver these vegetables to the tables to move forward, and you have to make sure you have the vegetables. So Raycolt is a very interesting, again, multiplayer game, but competitive game. But you can play it solo, and it's quite enjoyable as a solo game. It's gorgeous as well. And this, as well, you can play nicely, the solo version of this, with a partner. You guys can make decisions together about what you're going to do here. Okay? Raycolt. Very cool. Love this Uwe Rosenberg game. Okay, love it. Now let's go to number 6 on my top 10 list of solo games you can play with a partner. Deep Space D6. You have a ship, right? You have a ship. You have dice, right? You have dice. Those are going to be your resources, right? And you have aliens attacking you, right? And the objective here is to survive. Isn't this box just wonderful? Right? Isn't this box wonderful? I love this little solitaire game. But you roll the dice. You have to know where you have to decide where you're going to place the allocate the results of the dice there. Are you going to choose to attack something or fix something on your ship? I'm not going to go through the whole game here, but it's a wonderful solitaire game, okay, where you have this ship that is taking damage, and you have to eliminate, basically survive all the attacks that are going on. You're going to roll these dice. You're going to have to allocate the position of these dice, and this is a solitaire game that you can easily play with a partner, because once the dice are rolled, and you guys can switch off, right? I roll this turn, you roll next turn. But once the dice are rolled, you have to decide, okay, what are we going to do with these results here? So it works well, a solitaire game, to play along with a partner. Okay, Deep Space D6, a joy. I really like this game. Now, number 5, I actually have 2 games here at number 5 on my top 10 list of solitaire games you can play with a partner, and they're war games. A Blood Red Banner, right? But you can't get this game anymore. That's why I've played this with sitting next to a partner before. This is a solo game. It's a war game. The Alamo is being attacked. You got to push back the Mexican units, and there's decisions to make, dice to roll. So Blood Red Banner works really well to play with a partner, an assistant general, if you will. But this one is great. Okay, 1759 Siege of Quebec. This I don't think is available, but they're coming out now. Or they already came out. I don't know, but with the new, it'll have a new cover. Okay, so this is GMT, right? GMT game, is it? Oh no, I apologize. I was thinking of another GMT game. This is Worthington Games, okay? That was an honest mistake. Because, GMT has a lot of these type of war games and stuff. Not like this, though. This is Worthington Games. The Great Sieges Worthington, okay? Sorry about that. A very cool war game, right? You have the British attacking the French there, right? They're trying to get into Quebec, so you can play either the British or the French. I prefer playing the French, right? Because you're defending the attack of the British, and you have these cards, right? You have these cards, and you have to make decisions, right? You're gonna let me see if I can show you this. Worthington Games. All right, and they're coming out or have already with an updated version of this. This is such a cool game. I really enjoy it. There you go. These are, every turn, you're going to decide what you're going to do. So you can play. This is a solitaire game. All right, you can play 2-player with this as well, by the way. But it's a solitaire game, and this is the French. The French booklet, right? And you're gonna decide what are you gonna do here? What are you gonna defend against? What are you gonna use the Native Americans here? Indian raids. What are you gonna do? So this is a cool solitaire game to play with a partner. Again, an assistant general, if you will, right? Right, you got the manual here. Not a hard game to play, but fun. And I find the playing the French side a little more fun than playing the British side in this particular Worthington Games game. Okay, 1759 Siege of Quebec. If you're into war games, a wonderful solo game by Worthington Games, and certainly a game you can sit next to a partner, okay, a solo game, and make decisions together. What are you going to do? Shall we go here? Shall we do that? What are we going to try to do here? And then you roll, and you got your morale here, It's a cool game. Look for the new cover, okay? There's a new cover for this. This is cool. I ordered it, so I haven't gotten the new one yet, but this is the one they used to have. Worthington Games, very cool. Solitaire game that you can play with a partner. Now, let's look at number 4 on my top 10 list of solitaire games that you can play with a partner, and that is Mooncake Master, one of my favorite little light games, right? You have mooncake quarter tiles, and you're trying to create mooncakes for pesky customers. You can play this competitively, okay? But I like playing this solitaire. I like playing it competitively as well, but I enjoy the solitaire version of this game, and it's the kind of game you can sit and play with a partner together. because you got to satisfy these pesky customers. And what should we do? Should we do a multi-flavor cake? And where do we put these watermelon seeds? And what about these hazelnuts? And should we get rid of this one? Should we use the little token that allows us to switch tiles? Fun little light puzzle game, nice pastel colors, just a fun little game. I really enjoy Mooncake Master, and it is a solitaire game. It's a multiplayer game, but you can play solitaire, but it's a solitaire game that you can play with a partner. It works very well to sit right next to your partner there and play the Mooncake Master game together. A joy. I hope you can still get this, because I don't know. I don't know if the first printing of that game is gone. I'm not sure. Every now and then I look, and last I looked, it was out of stock. So we'll see what happens. Number 3 on my top 10 list of solitaire games you can play with a partner is Orchard. This cute, wonderful 9-card solitaire game. You have these cards, you have these dice, and what you're trying... I talked about this, I've done a playthrough of this, right? You have these cards here, and every time that you overlap, like for instance this plum tree here, right? The cards are going to have different things on it, right? A different combination of pears and apples and plums. If you overlap, let's say we overlap both of these, we put a die on there with a 1. And then if we overlap it again, it goes to a 3. If we overlap it again, it goes to a 6. So basically, you're trying to, not unlike Sprawlopolis, right, where you can overlap cards, you're trying to match these trees here so that you can get as many points as possible. It's a wonderful game. And, you're going to have a couple of cards in your hand to choose from. And it's a neat game. It's a solitaire game, right? But you can sit with a partner and play it. It works, right? Because you and your partner can think, oh, wow. It's another set of eyes, okay? Because you have to pay attention to get good scores with this. And it's nice to have a partner there that can say, wait a minute, hold on, I think this might work, and then we're trying different things out together. So a wonderful little solitaire game that you can play with a partner. Number 3 on my list of top 10 solo games you can play with a partner. Number 2 on my list is Ganz Schön Clever. Okay? This is a cool game, right? You have these pads, right? And these dice. And you're going to be rolling these dice and deciding which one of these dice you're going to take. And let me show you one of the cards. I actually laminated my cards. It comes with a block, right? But I laminated it. So this is you're going to be rolling dice, and you're going to put 3 of them there. Okay. And depending on what dice you put there, you're going to be, if you have a yellow 3 up here, then you're going to be doing a yellow 3. You got a couple of options. So making the decision, this is a solitaire game. You can play cooperatively, but you can play it solo as well. So making the decision here, what dice to put there, or whether to use a free re-roll, right? You can re-roll if you have the little re-roll. If you have any re-rolls left, you decide which dice are going to go there, because depending on where you put some of these and what color the dice is, it's going to create a chain reaction that may get you more points in the end of the game. This is a very interesting game. There's a lovely app for this. Ganz Schön Clever is a very cool game. You can get it through Stronghold Games. And it is a solitaire game that plays very well with a partner, right? You have decisions to make, and you have a partner sitting next to you. You guys can make these decisions together. So very cool game, worth checking out if you don't know much about it. Ganz Schön Clever, number 2 on my top 10 list of solitaire games you can play with a partner. Now, number one, okay? Number 1 solitaire game that you can play with a partner, and I've done it quite a few times. Are you ready for this? It's actually two little games, but they're actually one little game, right? Right? Are you ready for this? Sprawlopolis and Agropolis. You know these, right? That's it. Each one of these, they're two. This Agropolis is the sequel to Sprawlopolis. City building game. You got little city cards. You're going to be there. They are there. You know. And you're going to be overlapping these, right? Or you can overlap them if you want. And this is a city, right? You have commercial, residential, you have parks and industrial. And in Agropolis, you have livestock, you have orchards, you have vineyards, and you have cornfields, right? It takes you out to the countryside, Agropolis. I find Agropolis a little more... a little trickier than Sprawlopolis because of the additional scoring and things. It uses a lot of the livestock. I love it. I love both of these. They're puzzle card games. Okay, puzzle card games. You'll have to think about what you want to do here. But wonderful solitaire game. And by the way, you can play this with more players, and I've done it. Right, I've played a couple of times with other people, but I really enjoy these as solitaire games. But you can play this solitaire game with a partner because you always have three cards that and obviously the top card of the drop pile that you can see what it is, right? And you have your little city that you're building there in front of you. And if you have a partner sitting next to you, believe me, in this game, you need that other set of eyes, right? Especially with roads. You know what I'm talking about. Roads, right? You get penalized for all the roads you have in your city. So you want to try to create long roads, right? So they only count as one road instead of having little snippets of roads everywhere. Roads are a problem in both of these. So it's nice to have that, extra pair of eyes there to say, hey, don't put that card there. What are you doing? So Agropolis and Sprawlopolis, they're the same rules, right? Just slightly different, the different scoring, right? You have additional scoring and maybe some additional penalties in Agropolis. It's a trickier game, in my opinion, a little more challenging. I love it. And Sprawlopolis, just absolutely wonderful. Both of these solitaire games that I love playing solo, but I also enjoy having a partner next to me, and we're tackling the little games together, right? It's a joy. Number one on my top 10 list of solitaire games you can play with a partner. Sprawlopolis and Agropolis. And there you have it. There you have it. And there's many others, right? There's many, many other solitaire games that you could easily play with a partner right next to you. So there you have it, my top 10 list of solo games you can play with a partner. Hopefully introduced you to something maybe you haven't seen before or didn't know existed. Now you can go look for it and get it. But there you have it. I love playing solitaire games, and every now and then I'll play a solitaire game with a partner. See you next time.